So now we're going to look at bond prices and present value, and we've already anticipated the result here because we know that interest rates are going to move inversely to the present value of some future payment, and bond is just going to give me some kind of future payment. So the way a bond works, or a typical bond, is different kinds of bonds, but it's going to pay interest each period. It might be twice a year. I'm just going to use annually, and it's going to pay some amount, some principal or face value, or sometimes called par value at maturity. So if a company or a government wants to borrow money, it can issue this bond at some price. It's going to pay interest each period, and then it's going to pay back the principal at the end of the bond. So it's going to pay this amount C. I'm using C because they're called coupon payments when we're talking about bonds. That's just the interest payment, some dollar amount, and it's going to pay some principal P. I'm just going to use the example of a 3-year bond. So, which is going to be a stream of payments. And so the first payment is going to be that coupon payment. I'm going to discount it because I'm getting it in a year. And the second one, I'm getting it in year 2, so I'm going to discount it by that factor. And then I get my last coupon payment plus the principal amount all in year 3, so I'm discounting it by this factor. And so the value of those future payments, this stream of future payments, that's just the present value or the price of this bond, what those payments are worth. So if I assume that we're using an interest rate of 10%, and remember this is basically a market interest rate, so other bonds of equivalent risk might be earning 10%, or I could buy some other asset that earns 10%, and so that's what I want to use to discount these future payments, because that's like the alternative that I could be earning. And I'm assuming that this coupon payment is $100, and the principal payment is $1,000 at the end of this bond. And so it might be that the coupon is listed as 10% of this value, in which, so it's the same as saying it's $100 because the coupon payment is not going to change. So it's just some fixed dollar amount that you're going to be earning per year. So if I went and plugged all that in, here's the same bond, same numbers. If I plug all that in, well, this bond is worth $1,000 because all I'm doing is getting this 10% return on this bond. I'm getting paid $1,000 for it. I'm going to get $100 interest year 1, $100 interest year 2, and get my $1,000 back at the end, along with that 3rd-year interest. And so this is just the same as putting away $1,000 and earning 10%, and so that's why this bond is worth $1,000. I'm just earning that market interest rate of 10% in this case. Now what might happen is that market interest rates could change. So this bond might be already out there trading. It started out as $1,000 while interest rates were 10, but interest rates change all the time, and bonds trade, so the prices of bonds can adjust. Well, suppose something causes other interest rates, market interest rates, to fall to 5%, which means my alternative to buying this bond and earning this particular return is to go earn 5%. Right? Remember, this bond was paying me a 10% return. I was earning 10% on this bond, and now other market interest rates are 5%, which means this bond is now more valuable. Right? The alternative is to go earn 5. This bond is sitting here earning 10. Well, so people want to go buy up this bond and sell other assets, and so the price of this bond is going to go up. And as this price goes up, the return on this bond is no longer going to be 10%, because this coupon is still going to be $100. So the way it works is, like I said, coupon payment and principal are not changing. It's the bond price that changes. So once I pay $11.36 for this rather than $1,000, which was the original value of this bond, and earning that $1,000 principal with a $100 payment every period. Well, if I could pay $11.36, I'm still getting a $100 payment plus my $1,000 at the end. That's no longer a 10% return. So as this price goes up, the return on this bond, or the yield on this bond, goes down and is moving towards that market interest rate, because people are going to keep buying this bond as long as it earns a higher return than the market. If we ignore differences in risk and things like that. So price goes up, yield on this bond goes down. So as market interest rates go down, bond prices go up and the yield, which is causing the yield on that bond to move towards that market interest rate. So bond prices are going up, yield on that bond is going down, or we could think of it as market interest rates going down, and bond prices going up. So that's really saying the same thing. So just to show the other case, if interest rates went up to 15%, and originally this bond was selling for $1,000, discounting at 10%, so that bond was yielding 10%. Well, now I can go earn 15% somewhere else. Again, assuming equivalent risk. So this bond is now less valuable. People are going to be selling off this bond, and this price falls until the return on that bond rises, so that people are willing to hold this bond. Right? People are just going to keep selling it until someone's willing to hold it. And so the price falls, the yield on that bond rises, along with that market interest rate of 15%. So the bond is kind of competing with these alternative assets that you could be earning a return on. So interest rates fall, bond price rises. Interest rates rise, bond price falls.